So welcome back to this channel once again, and here I am with one more interesting topic on subfile. So here I'll be showing you the demo of the multiple subfile display at a time. So one subfile would be input subfile and the other subfile would be the update subfile. So here you can input records in the input subfile and you can add those records to the physical file, and then those physical file records which are added through input subfile will be displayed in update subfile. But there in update subfile you can either update the records, one or more than one records, or you can delete the records, one or more than one records. So this is the feature which is provided in update subfile. You can update or delete the records, and the records will also be displayed using the input received from the subfile one. So let's see what I did. Just call this program. Call this program. So you can see there are two subfiles displaying at the time here. So one is the input subfile where I can see the entry lines, just do page down, just do page up, page up, page up. So you can see that you can do page up and page down in that area. So if you are doing in this area page up and page down, then you will be able to scroll down or scroll up the records of subfile 1, which is input subfile. So here the subfile is not loaded, basically it is initialized. Now this is the second subfile which is update subfile 2, and here I can see that there are no records at all right now because no records are added right till now. And here you can see F3 for exit. If you press F3 you can exit from this screen, and if you press enter you can add in PF for example, and that add will be work from the input subfile 1, and update and delete records will be work from subfile 2. Okay, so for example if I press enter without doing anything, I won't be seeing that records are added or updated or deleted because I didn't perform any action or I didn't added any records till now. Now if I add one, for example records, for example I added one record and pressing enter here, so I can see that if I press enter and input the records on input of file 1, the records will be added to the PF and those are displayed here with the update feature and delete feature. So here the option is enabled. So if I take X here, I can delete the records, or if I take if I update the values here, I can update the records. Okay, so just do a quick thing. For example, I just added name 2 inactive. Okay, so I just want to enter the name 3 on the next page or on this line. So it depends upon me, it's my wish that I want to enter the values on any page or any entry line, and it must be entered, it must be added to the PF or displayed on this subfile 2, update subfile 2. Okay, so the 3 records are added here. Now add one or more records more. For example, I'm adding 4 name 4 inactive, 5 name 5 active, 6 name 6 inactive. Okay, those multiple records are added successfully, as you can see. So if I do page down here on this subfile, you can see that the page down or page up is working on this update subfile 2 because I'm now the cursor is now in this area only. Okay, now for example I have added the records. I have shown you how I can add a single or the multiple records using this input subfile. Now I'll be showing you that how those records which are inputted here are displayed here can be deleted or updated either at one record at a time or multiple record at a time. Okay, so now I'm going to update the records. So I am setting the status as blank. Record updated successfully. Now the status is blank for this name one. So for example, I am making the status blank for these two. So multiple records updated because I updated two records here. What I can do, I can delete these records. So for example, I took C here and pressing enter, it won't do anything because X is used to delete the record. So I must have given the message here that I didn't give. I'll be giving that right after this uh, de- uh, demo. Okay, so during showing you the code, I'll be doing that. So now I can delete the record. So if I took X, I can see record deleted successfully. So record is deleted. Now for example, I took X or C, or just the thing is this, and I want to delete the record. So if at least one X is there, so I can delete the record. C would be ignored. So if I press, so I can see that the record employee number 3 is deleted now. Record deleted successfully. So I'm seeing the message record deleted successfully only. So if I delete the records, for example, multiple records at a time, I can see multiple records deleted. So this is the feature which I'm just gonna showing you, that how I can add the record in one input sub file and just display that into another sub file, and there I can update the records and delete the records, whatever I want to do. So I'm doing displaying, inputting, and updating and deleting. So I'm just performing the the read, update and delete and select operation here, not the CRUD operation, because CRUD is basically for create also, include create also. So here I'm showing you how we can display the record, how we can input the record, how we can delete the record, how we can update this record using the subfile. Either one record at a time, I can add one record at a time, or multiple record at a time. I can delete one record at a time. I can delete multiple records at a time. I can update one record. Or I can update multiple records at a time. How would I showing the empty subfile? As you can see, how would I showing the initialize subfile, which is the input subfile, entry subfile. How I can showing the multiple subfile at a one time. So this is the thing. Here you can say that enter is working for both the subfiles. For first subfile, it is working for adding the records into the PF and also displaying those added records to the PF. And for the second subfile, it is working as updating or deleting the records from the update subfile too. So just see, for this purpose I just use the student PF, so where I am going to add, update or delete the records, and I am displaying the records from that student only after adding those records. So employee number, name, status was there, employee number is the key, right? So now the thing is, I created one PF and then one display file. I'll be adding that message here. Now I can see there are two subfile formats defined. So this is the first one, where in first one I can see these fields are defined in both mode, because I just need to define the input subfile. So this is the input subfile basically. So here you can see I used SFLINZ keyword with indicator 21. Okay, and SFL display, SFL display CTL and other things. SFL page is this one, SFL size is this one. Means the maximum, this is the load also file. So at one page 5 records can be displayed, and this is the maximum loaded records, maximum records that can be loaded into the subfile. SFL initialize is just used to initialize the subfile, not clear the subfile, used to initialize all the records of the subfile. All the records means the records till number, SFL size number, okay, till 9999. So if in case here I'll be initializing all the records with blanks and then displaying the subfile. Okay, display is for displaying. If at least one record is added, then I'm displaying the records. But here in initialization case, I'm initializing all the records and then displaying the subfile. This is the message, heading messages. This is the footer message, and you can see, as you can see that enter, add or update this thing, and these are the messages which are showing based on indicators. Now this is the second subfile where I'm showing, which is the as you can see that this is the update subfile. So here there is an option field which is in both mode, employee number which is in output mode only, so I cannot update employee number. I can update employee name and status, so I took this in both mode. So here also you can see the control format is same as above, but here I use SFL clear, and SFLINZ also, and SFL display. Other things are same. SFL clear and SFLINZ is used here. So there is a purpose of using the SFLINZ, because if you don't use that, you will be getting the session or device error. So why I use that, I'll be showing you in the program. These are the things. So here I need two display two subfiles. One is for input subfile and one is for update subfile. So there I'm using the SFLINZ keyword for this functionality. Let's take F12. I need to add that message. Okay. 13. Okay, that message would be like in blue color. Take X to delete. Okay. Just compile this program again and just see whether that message is take X to delete. Okay. So now I have created the I have the display file in front of me where there are two subfile formats. One is for input and one is for update. Now the time is to see how I coded that. So I'm declaring the student file in update add mode because I'm going to add display, update or delete records from that file only in two subfiles, using two subfiles. So these subfiles are here, SFLR format and SFLRFMT2. RN and RN2 is associated with them. They are declared here. So I just took added count, updated count, deleted count to just count how many number of records added, updated, deleted, so that I would be able to show the corresponding message, either multiple records added, deleted or updated, or single record. Okay. So L underscore emp name 2, L underscore emp status 2. I just took these two local variables for my use. Why I use that, I'll be letting you know. So the first thing here is just come to the program from the starting flow. So the first thing in the execution is initialization subroutine. So initialization subroutine will be called automatically. We don't need to call this subroutine. Okay. Now first thing is I am setting the RIN to 0, which is associated with subfile format 1, which is the input subfile, because we don't need to load the subfile 1 because that is the input subfile. So we just need to initialize that subfile, and we only need to load the subfile 2 because that is loaded based on the file student. So I am adding the records using subfile 1 to the student file, and I am loading the records from the student file to the second file. So the load subroutine will execute. Just go to load subroutine. So here you can see I'm at the starting, I'm setting resetting the subfile initialized to SFLINZ, because for example just take an example. If you have not loaded any records, okay, to that empty update subfile will be shown to you. In that case, if you are performing the read change operation for that, because you don't know, when I'm pressing enter, call pgm20, just take an example. When I'm pressing enter, I don't know that either I'm performing operation on this one or on this one. So either it it may have that I have inputted some values here also, and I have changed something here also, or I was deleting something here also. I'm performing in add and update or delete anything on the files, both the operation, all the operations at one time. And then in that case, what would be happen? So all the operations should work, and the last operation which I have written in my code would have given the message accordingly. Okay, so or we can manage that also. We can enhance our coding that with that level also, so that we would be knowing that each thing is working and we should be displaying all those messages as well. So that thing I didn't handle it here, but I can do, but all the functionalities will work. So I'll be showing you that also. So for example, here you can see I'm initializing this as off because I'm currently the subfile has no records. Okay, and I'm not going to initialize all the records with SFL size number of records. Okay, RN2 is set to 0, indicator 98 is off, indicator 11 is off. So this is for SFL size and this is for SFL display. No records are loaded, so this is off, and 9999 records are not loaded, so this is also off. So now I'm reading the student file, incrementing the RN2 by 1, and then initializing the opt with blank, and then file fields, subfile fields, subfile2 fields with the file fields, and writing the subfile format. Here checking the condition if 9999 reach, setting that indicator to on means I don't need to load any more record after that. Or IN2 is greater than 0, then I'm displaying the subfile, so update subfile. Okay, 11 is set to on. Now here you can see that I'm checking if RN2 is 0, means if no records are loaded, if the record file is empty, then in that case I don't need to display the empty file only. I have to set the initialization. If RN2 is 0, I have to set the star IN22 to on, SFLINZ, means I'll be initializing all the 9999's SFL size number of records to initialize active records. Okay, basically that are blank or 0, whatever the data type. So in case if it is RN2 is greater than 0, I'm setting that off. I don't need to display that initialize the file at that point of time. Okay, so that the thing here is I can just read the change records, else I'll be getting the session or device error. So the thing is, this is the load subroutine. Now after loading the subfile 2, the thing is writing the footer and then writing the subfile control format 2, which I loaded, and then now I'm doing the initialization of the subfile 1 input subfile. So I'm setting indicator 21 to on, which is for SFLINZ subfile initialize. So I'm initializing all the active records 9999, and then writing the subfile control format, then setting back it to off, the same as I do for the clearing the subfile. Okay, so when the same I am clearing the subfile, the same way I am initializing the subfile. Okay, then setting indicator 10 to on, because in this case I need to display the subfile with initialized a number of records, so that I would be able to see those entry lines. Okay, so in that case I need to set this to on, SFL display keyword indicator. So then again I'll be writing the subfile control format and reading the subfile control format, so that I would be able to see that inputs of file and that updates of file. Okay, so this is again read SFL CTLRF2 displays of file, not display. This is the updates of file. Now once the subfile is in place or is in front of user can press F3 to come out, or he can just simply press enter, or he can add, or he can update or delete, whatever he can do. I don't know what he will do. So I handle that thing. So in this subroutine here you can see if F3 is pressed, we'll exit from the program by setting the last record indicator to on, and then return from the program, and then we are setting those indicators to off, which are basically for the messages, footer messages. Okay, first thing is checking whether any record is added records to subfile 1 input subfile. Okay, added count is 0. I'm reading the change records on the subfile format 1. Okay, SFLRFMT. So I'm doing it till not percent end of file, and I'm reading all the change records so that I would be knowing that how many number of records are added. So the records are added, so the file fields of the file format 1 will be evaluated to the student file, and the records will return to the student file using the right opcode with student record format name, student file record format name, and I'm incrementing the added count by 1. Okay, so this way I'm just you can say that I'm adding all the records, either one or multiple records, because I'm doing this in loop, multiple records to the PF. Okay, so once the records are added to the PF, the thing here is, just after that adding the records, I have to display that into the updates of file. So here if added count is 1, so I'm setting this indicator to on, means one record is added only. If greater than 1, I'm giving the indicator 82 on, so that the message corresponding to 82 multiple records added would be shown on the filter, and others message are off because that message is defined on the same position. Now I'll be checking update or delete, whether update or delete is happened. That's why I used SFLINZ keyword with the updates of file also, else I won't require that. Update count 0, delete count is 0. Okay, now I'm reading the change record from the subfile format 2, okay, which is for update subfile. This I'm doing in the loop, do while not percentile end of file. This is the end do. So inside that I'm chaining, first I'm chaining with the employee number. Okay, in the student file, if record is found, this is the end of that if. So if record is found, so record will be found because that is displayed on the from the displays of from the student's file. So if option is equal to x, so for example user may or might have taken some other option. For example, he have taken user have taken x S option, A option, B option, whatever option he would have taken apart from X. So in that case, I don't need to delete the record. Okay, so I'm not going into this, so I'm going into else part. So if user would not have taken X, then he might or may have taken other than X, or he may have updated the things also. For example, he have updated the name and also taken C there. So I don't know that what he did, so I have to check. I have to make my program more intelligent than me, so that he would handle the program would handle each and everything. So here I'm just getting back the employee name and status, which is already in the student file, to the local variables. That's why I took these two variables. Then I'm checking whether these local variables, which are coming from the values coming from the student file, is if not equal to employee name to employee status to this is the what in display updates of file. Okay, updates of file. So whatever user would have changed in these two, if he would not have changed anything, so he might have taken option C there. Okay, on the opt keyword, he might not have taken change anything, so then he won't be updating anything. So if he would have taken C or updated the name also, then he would be able to update the records, and update count will be incremented accordingly. Okay, also if he would have just changed the record, he would not have taken any other option apart from X, so he would also be able to update the record. So here I'm not going for that option for updating. I'm just checking whether those two values are changed or not, because I have to perform delete operation only when X option is X. If any other option would be taken, I don't care for that. Then in that case, I have to check whether name or employee status is changed or not. If that is changed, then only I am going to update that. Or it does not matter to me that user have changed the employee name and employee status also, both the things, or either any one of things, employee name or either employee name or employee status, and he might also have taken off some option other than X on that record. So that is irrelevant to me. I don't care for that. I don't look for that. I just look for the X option, and I look for the name values of name and the status to update. Okay, so I'll be updating the records accordingly, and here if user would have taken option X there, and he would have updated the things also. So for example, he have updated the things also, the name and other things, and he has taken X also. So the X would work, because I don't need to go for update the things and then delete the things. I would directly delete that record, right? So this is the way the program works. Okay, and here you can see update count is 0, so indicator this will set to on, so that update count is greater than 1. This indicator, this is just for showing the messages on the footer. Okay, then as you can see, for example, if this was not the thing, only the added record was done, record was added to the input of file 1, so I would have gone to read the change record on this one. So if I am reading the change record, I have used the SFLINZ. I have initialized the subfile, update subfile as blank, all the records as blank, so that I would not getting the session or device error when I am doing the read change operation on the file format 2. Okay, these things we must care of, because these would cause issue if you have written a very brilliant program and you didn't take care of these errors which might would have come. So you have to pay for you have to worry about that, not pay for that, you have to worry about that. You have to take care of these things. You must ensure these things while writing your subfile codes, that when and what cases can happen, or what error I can get, or what user can take. You must have set those validations, or whatever you can do, you can do that. Here now I would have checked, I have to load the record. So before loading the record, for example, if there is already some records are loaded, then what I'll be doing, I'll but here in this case, at first time, all the records are initialized. Okay, SFLINZ was on. So in case if SFLINZ was not on, so the records were loaded to the subfile. So I have to clear those records, so that whenever I am writing the records again, loading the subfile again, so I won't be getting the duplicate records error. Okay, so in this case, if I'm not setting indicator 22 to off, because this is already set to on, so my subfile will always be initialized and I won't be able to see the effect. So I won't be able to clear this. So first thing, I have to clear this one. I won't be able to load the records. Okay, so first thing, I'll be setting this off, then I'll be clearing the subfile by setting this indicator to on and off, which is associated with the SFL clear keyword. Now here I am loading it again. Okay, once the record are loaded, that will go back to this thing, and the subfile will be displayed accordingly. So this is the thing. So if I'm calling this program again, so for example, I added name 1 again, active. So I'm doing this on this line, name 2 active, 3 name 3 is blank. Okay, status is blank right now. So I just want to perform all the things at one time. 4 name 4 active. Okay, this thing, and what I'll do, I'll update this record. Okay, I'll also update this record. I'm also giving this 456 name 6. So I cannot delete 456, or I cannot update 456, because they are not added till now. Okay, they will be added to this subfile. So what I'm doing, I'm updating these records. Okay, 2A and 3A. Okay, now you can see that all the records are multiple records updated and added also. So you are seeing the latest message. So the last thing would be happened in the program is the update. Okay, that's why you are seeing this one. So we can handle that also, that we would be seeing both the messages. So we can do that in our programming if you want. So for example, I'm doing the same thing again, adding for example 7, name 7, these are blank, name 8, name 8. Okay, this is also blank. Now I'm taking C here, but I'm updating this one and I'm not doing anything. I'm taking Z here, I'm updating this one, I'm updating this one also, I'm updating this one also. Okay, I'm making all active, deleting 3, 4, 5, if I would have 5A, 4A, okay, and then pressing enter. This is the thing what I did. I updated the first and second record. As you can see, name 1, name 2, active, and other records are deleted, and this record was already there and these records are added. So I was seeing the latest message. The latest message would be, so the last message would be the multiple record deleted. Okay, so there I already told you that I didn't handle those things, that I'm showing all the messages that the record is deleted, added, updated, all those things. I can show that, or we can handle that here only. That is not a tough or a big task. That's a very simple task for us. Okay, now we can see if I delete name 2A, so here you can see the records are deleted and updated, both things are happened. See, the message is not handled accordingly, because message is handled accordingly by one operation only. So if I am performing one operation at a time, then those messages are displaying to you correctly. If I'm performing multiple messages at the time, so at that time, so the last operation which will be performed, for that only I am going to see the message. Okay, that is the thing. So this is the pure demo of multiple displaying sub file. So here I am displaying the multiple sub files at a one time, and here you can see one is the input sub file where you can add the records through to the pf, and that will be displayed into the subfile 2, and through subfile 2 you can delete or update the records, whatever you can do. Either one record you can add, either multiple record you can add, either delete, you can delete one record, you can delete multiple records, you can update one record, you can update multiple records, or you can perform all those three operations at one time. You can either add, you can delete, you can update, all those things you can perform at one time. But you cannot perform the update or delete operation on the record which is going to be added. So you can perform the update and delete operation simultaneously with that on the other records which are already added, okay, and displaying on the updates of file 2. So that's the thing. I think this will be a very great tutorial for you all, and that's a good tutorial, I think. So that's all. Thank you and have a nice time.